get you some. Oh, yeah. Mate, it's lucky she can cook. Wow. G'day lovelies, welcome back. Alrighty, tonight, homemade finger buns. First thing we want to do is preheat our ovens at 210 degrees Celsius. We want to get out a baking tray with some baking paper. I'll write the recipe below, but we'll go through it quickly. We're going to need 2 cups of self-raising flour, 30 grams of butter chopped, 1/4 cup of sultanas, optional, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 3/4 cup of milk, 1 egg. For the glaze, we're going to need a tablespoon of boiling water and 1 tablespoon of caster sugar. For the icing, we're going to need 1 cup of icing sugar, 1 tablespoon of boiling water, 5 grams of butter, and a few drops of pink food colouring. First thing we want to do is sift the 2 cups of self-raising flour into a large bowl. Then we want to add the 30 grams of chopped butter, and with our fingertips we want to squeeze all the butter into the flour, and we want to keep doing it until it's all squeezed through. Once we've done that, we now want to add our 1/4 cup of sultanas. I'm not going to do sultanas today, I'm going to do plain ones. So if you're going to have sultanas, add them now. Then add 2 tablespoons of plain white sugar, and we want to mix them together. Alright, once we've mixed our sugar and sultanas through, if you're using them, put a hole in the middle and just set that aside for a minute. Alright, in a jug we want to whisk up 1 egg. Then we want to add 3/4 cup of milk, and we want to whisk them through together. Alright, once we've done that, we just want to stick a tablespoon of the mix into something small for a minute and set that aside. The rest of it we want to pour in the middle, and we want to mix it together to a sticky mess. Okay, once we've got it into our sticky mess, we want to get some plain flour out and just put a little bit on there. Stick our pile of goo on it. Alright, now we don't want to play with it too much, we just want to get it workable. So flour on the outside. Flour around it as you're moving it. Basically just keep covering the outside in flour until it's actually workable. And we want to get it into a sort of a log form. Alright, divide them into 8. Alrighty, once we've got them into our 8 pieces, we'll just move them aside. Of course mine are never going to be even, so I think I'll stick the 2 little ones on the end. Okay, roll them in a bit of flour and just gently roll them out to about, I don't know. Alright, we want to roll them out to 15 centimetres. Okay, which is just like, I don't know how you explain it. Alright, and then we've got to carefully pick them up, put them on the tray. Alright, so you want to do it quickly so they don't dry out because they're soft and gorgeous. I'm just going to have to, I had to clean my bench now, which I wouldn't have normally had to do. So what I'm going to do now is just shape them all to the same size, and we want to keep them close. Once we've got them looking like that with the gap like so, we now get the tablespoon of milk mix, and we want to coat them. By now our oven's up to temperature, bang them in there. 12 minutes later in my plain electric oven, and mate, they smell friggin' amazing. Oh, how cute! So when you flick them and they've got that hollow sound, they're ready. Now I'm going to slide them onto a cooling tray, but if you don't have one, you can just slide it onto the bench. Next thing you want to do is whack your kettle on real quick. Now we want to get into a small, whatever you can get, 1 tablespoon of boiling water with 1 tablespoon of caster sugar. Mix it through. Once most of it's dissolved, we want to cover the whole thing, all of them. Alright, now we leave them sit there to completely cool down. Once they've cooled down completely, we're now going to do the icing for the top. So first of all, we need a bowl with 1 cup of icing sugar. I'm just going to use margarine because it's easier, and I'm going to do a tablespoon and add 1 tablespoon of boiling water, and then we want to mix that through till it's nice and smooth. Now if you are going to use pink food dye colouring, you want to put that in now, 1 or 2 drops. Now once you've mixed it in properly, to get it to the right consistency of however you're going to spread it, so you can spread it 2 ways. You can put it in a spoon and just like drop it along it and then wipe it along with a knife, which is what I do normally, but today I'm going to try and do it a little bit different. So I'm going to make it just that fraction runnier, I reckon. So if you want to make it a bit thinner, you add a tiny little bit of boiling water, and if you want to make it a bit thicker, you add some more icing sugar. So I'm just going to stuff around today because I'm in the mood to do something different, but normally you just use that 1 batch and that would do it, all of them. I think I want it just a tiny bit runnier. Alright, I'm going to give it a crack at that. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is I found one of these shaped ones. I don't know if you can see that. It's like a flat, skinny one. And I'm going to give that a crack. Cut a little bit off the corner. Alright, stick the short bit in. Alright, and then screw it on the outside. Okay, we're ready to rock and roll. Then I'll get that, stick it in the cup, fold around the outside. I'm going to stick some of my mix in there. Ooh, what is she up to now? Get a beautiful finger buns. God, they smell good. Now, of course, they're not exactly like the bakery sort. These are homemade finger buns, but geez, they're good. Alright, let's see if this works. Rather than trying to... So find out if I did it too runny. Get out of the way, Carl. Oh yeah, baby! I reckon that's going to be a bit too runny. They are just so easy to make, so even if you make the first ones, give them a crack, by the time you make your second batch, you'll be a pro at it. So yeah, you can tell it's a bit runny. I should have just left it and not put that little bit on, but you get that. Okay, this time I'm going to add a bit of this teal colour. So these colours I got from Big W, and they are gel ones. So they're not actually runny. So I'm just going to get a little bit. They're pretty old now. And whack that in there. And give it a crack. Mix it in. I love this. Okay, I'm going to stick some of that in the bag now and push out the white. Okay, now I'm not sure if I'm going to have to make a new batch of icing up or whether this will do what I want it to, so we'll give it a crack. I'm going to now put some black in, which usually just goes grey. If I wasn't so lazy, I made a new batch for that one. Yeah, it would have been proper grey, but I think you get where I'm going with this. Once we've done that, poor power finger buns. You know, the funny thing is, I'm sending them across the road and they're all Crow supporters. Oh, how cute! Homemade finger buns, big wad of butter. So I just took them across the road. They are Crow supporters. The look on her face was absolutely priceless. She's like, you did them in power colours? I tell you what, mate, I absolutely love being Aussie. Okay, you got to store them in an airtight container in a cupboard and they'll last up to 3 days. Mate, you've got to give them a crack. Your family's gonna love them. They are so easy and fun to do. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourselves an awesome week and I'll see you soon. Toodles.